Well, this one's super fun. It's the Vanish Carbon from Altra. The Vanish Carbon is a super fun new innovation from the company known for zero-drop foot-shaped shoes. The idea is simple: smooth-fitting upper, bouncy midsole comfort, and carbon-plated speed. There's a lot going on in this new shoe from Altra that might surprise you. First, the shoe features a slimmer foot shape, which helps control foot movement, a light and airy upper, reminiscent of Altra's recent Mont Blanc trail shoe, a thicker layer of Ego Pro midsole designed to provide plenty of bounce, cushion, and responsiveness, a multi-forked Carbitex carbon plate for flexible snap, an active stance rocker geometry to keep you moving forward, all in a succinct package destined to favor those looking to run fast and is suitable for efforts of all distances. Altra seems to have hit a home run with the new Vanish Carbon, but at $240, can it hold up against the tried and tested competition, or does it come up just a little bit short? We're gonna find out in today's review. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan DeBerry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. I'm excited about today's review because it's a fun shoe, race ready for you. Coming to us from Altra, it's the Vanish Carbon. Carbon-plated, bouncy, snappy, race-ready shoe of greatness. Now, before we even get into the review of the Vanish Carbon, I have to point out that this shoe was provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation to say anything positive or negative about the shoe. I am not financially compensated for anything that I say in this review. All opinions are my own. You are the first to see this review. No one has to approve it, except for me. So with that said, I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about every product I review on this channel. This is no different. Let's start with the things that I like, shall we? Ego Pro midsole. So this is that new midsole from Altra that I think works really well in this package. It's on the more responsive end of the spectrum, but it still has enough cushion and bounce in there to give you a lot of life underfoot. It's a fun feeling midsole. It definitely lends itself to sort of this rocker shape of the shoe that wants to propel you forward. It feels like it wants to go fast. I tend to not favor shoes like that. In this case, the Ego Pro is very well balanced, and I think it is a really fun shoe to run in, and that is in due part to the midsole. Innovation. I want to commend Altra on some of their design choices that they're implementing in some of their new shoes. The Vanish Carbon is no different. They're taking what has worked in the past, what they're known for, and putting it in a new package with a new spin, and it works, especially in the Vanish Carbon. For example, foot shape. So Altra is known for having these wider toe boxes, more accommodating fit. The Vanish Carbon has a slimmer foot shape, which actually allows it to fit tighter and better around your foot, more precise, which is something that's quite welcome in a shoe brand that is known for having a bit sloppy fit at times, in my experience. Also, zero drop. We're not seeing a ton of zero drop carbon plated offerings these days. The Ego Pro midsole, which I've already talked about, being sort of an innovation in the right direction with some of their compounds, incorporating a carbon plate. So we're seeing Altra move forward with innovation while also staying true to their roots. So I do want to point that out, and I think it's kind of a cool thing to see actually happen in the Vanish Carbon. Fit. I think the Vanish Carbon fits quite well on my foot, and that is not always something that I can say with all Altras. So again, they have that slim foot shape profile. I think it works really well. I would love to see more of their shoes incorporate that. While the shoe looks very similar to the Mont Blanc trail version, which I have over on the wall there, it fits much different, better. They've got the wider laces. They've got a better ankle collar that locks down your foot. I'm able to crank down on these shoes. They really feel like they wrap around my foot. I feel like I'm one with the shoe, which is not always the case with Altras. So the fit is better than I expected, and it is a welcome surprise. That being said, it is not all cheesy burritos and tall, ice-cold glasses of horchata. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Vanish Carbon. Let's talk about those now. Durability. So not only is it a concern moving forward with the shoe, but it's already causing issues. So I have just under 70 miles in the shoe, and the outsole is seeing a lot of wear on the lateral side, on the medial side, around the heel. This outsole rubber is not great. It's very slippery out of the box. It has worn in, but unfortunately, it's almost worn through on the lateral side of the shoe. This upper material mesh, I like it because it's very light and breathable. I'm worried that it's going to break down prematurely, very similar to the worry that I had with the Mont Blanc. So it makes me question if this shoe was designed to last hundreds of miles, or if it really truly was designed purely as a race shoe to get you through a couple of races and then you'd have to get another pair. That sucks, especially at $240. Which brings me to my next dislike, price. It's $240. That puts it right in the ballpark with a bunch of other carbon-plated shoes that could be better offerings than this. So $240 is a lot. You're comparing it against shoes like the Vaporfly, the Metaspeed Sky from Asics, the Hyperion Elite, the Endorphin Pro. I mean, there's all these other shoes out there that have been on the market for quite some time that provide you with quite a different experience than this, that are at that same price range. You know what? For $140 less, you could get the Artist from Atreyu that is a very similar ride to this. And that bugs me. Despite it being a fun shoe and a bit different of a ride in the carbon plated department, that is still just a lot of money to spend on a shoe that has so much other competition. Underfoot feel. So yeah, I like the Ego Pro midsole, especially in a package like this. I will say that the shoe takes some getting used to and some adaptation, if not some break-in. The best way to describe how the shoe felt right out of the box was like running on a squished disc of midsole foam that sort of wanted to lean either lateral medial side of your gait. It was just an initial feeling that was a little surprising and a little concerning. So I've moved past that stage. It's not so bad underfoot now, but where I do feel a majority of the midsole is causing most issue, it's just in the arch of the foot. It tends to feel like it's built up around the arch, which for some people might be uncomfortable. I get that it's sort of this rocker shape and it wants to move you through the arch. It just takes some getting used to, and it's something that I have to note of how this shoe actually feels underfoot. And finally, probably my most nitpicky dislike is just the tongue. It's super thin, very flexible. It curls underneath. It doesn't have a gusset or anything like that. And it doesn't have a lot of protection over the top. So the tongue, it's just one of those things that sucks. It's not great. But that is ultimately it for my dislikes of the Vanish Carbon. So let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown where we talk about the build quality, the comfort, the fit, the price, and the looks of the shoe, starting with build quality. So I think the materials they're using are good. The combination of them works quite well. I will say that the wear and tear on the shoe is probably the biggest drawback of the overall build quality. I don't know how many miles you're going to be able to get out of the shoe. It's going to be under a couple hundred for sure. Comfort, the shoe takes some getting used to. Already mentioned that. The midsole, however, I really like it. Once you get into it and actually run in it and race in it, it's a super fun, dynamic ride and very comfortable underfoot. And I think the upper also plays a role in that. It's very minimal, very breathable. You don't feel like you're wearing a ton of shoe on your foot, which is great. Fit, that's where this shoe, I think, soars. I like the fact that this fits a slimmer profile versus other Ultras that have a lot of volume. Less volume in this, wider feet will still like it, and the lockdown is actually quite good. Price, $240. I already talked about it. That's not great. I don't think that the shoe can justify a price of that high. I just think there's other shoes in that price range that provide you with a more substantial, fun, dynamic, bouncy, soft, cushioned ride, even with carbon plates like the Vaporfly, the AlphaFly, which isn't too far off of that, the Endorphin Pro, the Metaspeed Sky. There's just a lot of offerings, and you can save a ton of money. $140 getting the Artist from Atreyu, and that is a carbon-plated dynamic midsole material that is very similar to the Ego Pro that will give you a similar ride. I just wish it was $40 or $50 cheaper. If they could have gotten this under $200, then I could definitely see this being in a category all on its own. And finally, looks. I actually like the looks. The Mont Blanc, which you'll see on the wall here at the bottom, has a very similar colorway, kind of this bright orange, pink, and black and gold. I do wish that the midsole was a different color, whether it was black or sort of this pink color would be super cool, very similar to the Mont Blanc. But I like this. I think it looks great. I'm going to repeat the same critique I had with the Mont Blanc, and I think this is one of Altra's best looking road shoes out there. I like it. It's simple, it's fun, it's fast. Bringing us ultimately to our conclusion. I think the Vanish Carbon is a super fun shoe. It's an exciting new innovation from Altra that uses some really interesting materials and design choices to make such a dynamic and fun ride. I think the Ego Pro is probably the big standout, super fun midsole material. The fit, the upper, those materials are pretty good. It's just going to be a shoe that favors those who are fast, who want to pick up the pace. It will favor races versus training or tempo efforts, and it won't necessarily last you hundreds of miles because there are things that are breaking down in the shoe already, and I haven't even reached 100, so that sucks. But man, it is fun to run in, as are its competitors at a similar price point. Bringing us to our final criteria, is the Vanish Carbon a buy, try, or a why? If you are an Altra fan, an Altra enthusiast, you love that foot-shaped design and that zero-drop platform, this is a solid try. You got to get your foot into it. If you're looking to go fast for those race day efforts, I mean, this shoe would be good up to a marathon. I absolutely think it could do that. It just may not last you more than one. So my recommendation is to give this one a shot, put it on your feet, see what it feels like for you. And that's it. If you would like more information or if you would like to get a pair of the Vanish Carbon for yourself, I have a link in the description. It'll take you over to Running Warehouse. It costs you nothing, but it does help the channel out by using that link. You can get all of your running gear there. And a reminder, if you are a GR Crew member, there is a discount code that you can use at Running Warehouse to get an additional 10% off pretty much everything that they sell. Go use it. You know where to find it. My question now turns to you. Have you run in the Vanish Carbon? Is this a shoe that excites you? Have you run in the Vanish series from Altra? Because this is a big change in just that lineage of shoes. In the comments of this video, let me know what you think of Altra's new offering. That's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, favorite, subscribe to the channel. Got new reviews and videos and films and fun live shows, everything happening all the time. Join the GR Crew. It is how you can support this channel while getting some amazing perks on the back end and joining an amazing global community of runners that are going through the same things you're going through and are there to support you. Head on over to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. All tiers get access to some fun perks, including our daily live streams. We do daily live shows where we talk about running and pretty much a lot of other things. You won't want to miss that fun. Thanks all. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week for more fun. Bye-bye.